chair.
Here is an
Try to get the fancy chair.
No desire.
We're gonna make this chop. It's like
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Cowboys? That's my dad's favorite team.
Who are they playing?
What you? When they're playing for one?
Yes.
I don't. I always vote for them, so now I will vote for them. They always understood.
Are you ready?
What's this?
Down in the corner.
It does.
It's 7 o'clock.
Good, have it all.
Yeah, we can change that clock.
Okay. Let's
Take the little one out.
get this rolling here. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk call the roll.
Gallagher.
Here.
Callaghan.
Here.
Jacoby.
Present.
Scarborough.
Here.
Showers.
Here.
Freeman. Olson.
Here.
Okay, let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? Anything you want to pull?
So I just wanted to describe the first item in the approval of expenditures, 261,000. That is not a real number. 240,000 of it is a transfer to CD funding. So it looks like an expense. It's not. It's just a transfer. So that brings the total of what we're actually expending on expenses to third parties to like 21,000. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. That's all. Thank you.
Clerk call the roll.
Gallagher.
Yes.
Callaghan.
Yes.
Jacoby.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Showers.
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Okay. We've got the personnel agenda in that, so we don't need to worry about that. Mayor's comment. First of all, I'd like to commend our city employees for their participation in the civic organization's spaghetti dinner. It was a good effort, good turnout. We really appreciate the help that you gave the civic organization, and it was a good showing. So thank you. The second thing is I've got a city treasurer will replace Rob Jones. She is out of town no, that's not her. In Washington, D.C., as I understand. So she will not be with us tonight, but she did present her resume. She was the city treasurer before.
What was her name again?
Joya Mast.
I can't remember if I could remember.
I think she was before your time, Linda.
She might have been,
So,
because Jones has been there a long time.
so if there are any questions.
So,
Go ahead.
I have a question. So, was there an open source for other accountants, or is this someone that decided they were interested in coming back?
No,
How does that work?
it's an appointment
Okay,
with the appointment by the mayor with the approval of the board.
She served on as a board of alderman member too in her tenure past.
Yeah, on the last page, it says it lists for public service. She worked, it looks like, for 9 years in elected positions.
does she still live in the community?
No, she does not.
Okay.
So Do you want to go forward and I'll entertain a motion to have her as our city treasurer? Yes.
I'll do the motion that you say for approving her. Yeah, I'll do that.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Callaghan,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes,
Freeman,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all very much. Do we have public comments? Alderman comments, anyone? Okay.
I do. I know the last time I was present, I asked about scheduling the time. Can we just put it on one of our dockets to have Esri come in December to discuss software for Public Works and potentially for our other entities such as fire and police?
So do you want us to set that meeting?
Yes, at least try to set a time. They're available in December. We have like less than a month to do that.
Could we run that through not personnel, but the finance committee meeting?
That's fine. If there will be an opportunity, because when I first came on, I mentioned this, and I want to make sure it's done, and making sure finance knows, and that there was a big, lack of understanding what Esri and the benefits to the community. So I just want to make sure that's on task, one of our agendas. Thank you.
So during the finance committee section, I do plan on scheduling a finance committee meeting for sometime within the next 2 weeks. More than happy to have them sit in and have an agenda item.
Okay, thank you. But
Yeah.
I know the mayor wanted, I think someone was like, we need to understand it and have it in front of the council. So you're saying everybody, okay.
Yeah,
Right, just
so
wanted to
We're
confirm.
all on the financial.
everybody's on the finance committee. We try to schedule these to where everybody can attend, but sometimes scheduling is prohibitive and not everybody can attend the finance committee. We will live stream it and record it to the best of our technical abilities, so that if people are interested in rewatching that specific section, we can.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie.
Okay, any other comments, Alderman comments? Old business, anybody? This is gonna be a short meeting.
Let's go for it.
I got a question in old business.
Okay,
Have we had any updates on delinquent occupations and business licenses?
I don't know that we had an update. I don't know if this board, sorry, I don't know
It's
if
okay.
if it was announced to this board that Jan Earhart, that works as a dispatcher, also her real job is with Department of Revenue, and there were at least a couple of the businesses that were on the delinquent list that she was able to officially go visit and let them know their status. So
That's awesome.
that's really the only update there is, but she was, in her official capacity, she was.
Yeah, okay.
have we asked the attorneys to do their letter?
I have not,
Yeah, because I think that we need to have
that will be the next
the
step.
attorneys send a letter, at least to the major ones. So I'm questioning if some of these smaller businesses even do business anymore because they're out of their homes. So that's potential that they're not doing it. But I know these ones that still have storefronts, the Cause and the Northland Ready Mix. They need some prodding.
Okay.
A
Thank you.
gentle nudge.
That will
Yes.
Administration, Matthew?
I've provided a written report. I didn't have anything to add unless there were questions from the board.
So last time we spoke about getting the online ordinance is up to date. So you're saying that you've sent everything in and you're waiting
Everything we have
response?
up through the last meeting, well, no, I'm sorry, up through the previous, not last meeting, but before that has been sent.
Fantastic. I'd be interested as soon as we get an update on when we can see the changes live.
So, as soon as I know, you all will know.
Thank you, Matthew.
Fire department. Scott, come on up.
Chief being gone this week asked me to step in for him, and two things. Ambulance update, we are ready to have it in service. We're short one small item, and that is they're gonna have to rerun the antenna coax. We think during construction, either it got a screw in it or cut somehow. It's not allowed radio to work. It did run its first call today, so, and the guys were very pleased. Wanted me to pass along to everybody, thank you very much for a fantastic piece of equipment, me included. I think that truck is beyond what we deserve, so.
Looked real pretty when I seen it. I seen it going down the street the other day too.
It's a good looking truck. We're slowly getting through all the crews driving it. One little incentive is if they haven't driven it and haven't gotten checked off, they have to use the old truck, so. It's gonna speed things up a little bit.
Yes, it will.
I hope anyway. Second thing I have.
Wait a minute. Tell us who you are and what your
Oh.
position is,
Okay.
please.
I'm sorry, most of you I've met. I'm Scott Williams. I'm the, I guess, newly minted 2 months or so ago, Assistant Chief of EMS. I took over for Travis when he stepped back. I've been with the department twice for a little over 10 years. I've been in EMS, this will start my 40th year. So I think I'm hoping that I can do as good a job for the city as what the city needs and hang around for as long as you guys will have me. So
Thank you.
I
Especially
appreciate
your
it.
lifetime service there is very commendable.
Thank you. I keep telling my wife, one of these days I'll have to go to work instead of get to go. When that happens, then we'll consider retirement.
That's a great attitude.
Yep, I love what I do and love working for this city. I really, truly do. On that note, I have here a flag for presentation, and Chief ordered me to read this as it was written, not to make any mistakes. This flag was raised on September 11th, 2024, and proudly flew over the Pleasant Valley 911 Memorial until it was retired on September 11th, 2025. This flag is presented to the Honorable Mayor Reed Flippin and the Pleasant Valley Board of Aldermen on November 3rd, 2025, although he has on here October 20th. He thought he was going to get it here the last meeting. So
Thank
that
you
is our
so
gift
much.
to you guys, or our thanks to you. And we'll go from there.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, Scott, and we will do our best to keep it inside the halls of City Hall. Police Department, Jared?
Just a couple of things. The Bureau of Justice Assistance Bulletproof Vest Grant has opened. It's a 50-50 match grant, but it will pay 50% of the new vest. We'll get reimbursed for it. I just need your blessing to go ahead and apply for it.
How many of your officers need new vests?
Nobody right now. It would be our newcomers.
So this will help with the 2, possibly 4 new hires.
Before.
And is this a 25 budget or a 26 budget
26.
item?
So you'd like to get forward.
Our vest costs about $1,400, so it'd be about $700 vest.
Which is a lot to get half the price.
Okay.
So do you have to give them a quantity when you apply, or you
I
just
save
have?
them out, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we authorize Chief to go ahead and submit for that grant.
Second.
Okay, discussion, questions?
I do. How long do the vests last?
5 years.
About 5 years. Okay, and how long have you've had those vests? You said that they're not needed. for updates, but how long have they been in circulation?
Let's see, I think I got mine, it was either last year or the year before, and it just kind of varies. I think the longest we've had was 3 years.
And then what happens to the rest after they're done with the?
They're stored at the old fire department, and then if we happen to get somebody that fits into one, we can reuse them, but they're fitted specifically for one person.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So they have to watch their diet.
Yes.
Customized.
The only other thing I have is.
Wait a minute, we have to vote on this. Okay, do I have a second as well? Okay. Let us go ahead and call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Callaghan,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Okay, next item.
The only other thing I have is kind of relation to finance. In the personnel committee meeting, I let everybody know that we, are probably going to move on with those 2 that we have to go through the academy. And 2, we have 2 new applicants that actually have police experience. Well, I don't know if we'll hire them or not, but it's a possibility. So there is a possibility that we would have 4 new hires starting in 26.
Good.
So the salary line item on the budget is going to be higher, quite a bit higher than last year's. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up of why that is. That's all I have.
Very good. That's good news.
Okay, Sarah, municipal court.
I provided my written report, and then I do have training on Friday, but Lisa will be
Covering.
covering.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Thank you. Public Works, Chris.
I provided 2 documents for you all, informational purposes mainly. One was some notes taken, items observed from the sewer scope project, and then the other is kind of our procedures, our snow inclement weather procedures that we follow. And that is also the document for the winter snow is also going for a simple flyer. It helps to let residents know how we do things. It's very similar to other cities. I don't have obviously everything in that document because we're limited to space in the actual flyer, but we have 17 cul-de-sacs in town. They take 20 minutes each to do at a minimum, to do them properly. And then that would be for blading them. And then you can't lay material down as you're blading them because you'd end up with way too much salt and sand mix in that cul-de-sac. So there's a little bit extra time to lay the material down. So there are some people in town that will get upset that we do the cul-de-sacs last, but that's why if we've got main roads that haven't been touched with numerous houses and motorists, and then we've got a cul-de-sac with 8 houses, that's it's just a logical way to do it. Does anybody have any questions about either one of those documents? The notes on the sewer scope stuff, that's great stuff going forward with. And like next time we're sitting in this room with a group that's doing the project, and we're having a pre-bid meeting, and they say, any idea how much water you used last time you did X amount of feet, 30, whatever. And then there was a big discussion about, hey, every city we do, we normally have to jet more than one time. And usually if we have to jet a pipe 3 times, that's considered a major clean. So then we bill more for that. And we said, well, I knew from doing it in previous years that we've never jetted any pipe 3 times because we didn't have to. It turned out in this project, there wasn't any pipe that needed jetting more than 1 time. And again, every year I've done this project, the techs have said, you guys' sewer pipes are really clean. So something to brag about.
Yay.
That's good. I would have brought some video and shown you, but it's really not too exciting.
That makes our wallet feel good.
Yeah. One manhole to keep an eye on with that silt in the bottom of, really do believe it came in from Kansas City because it was kind of close to the north Kansas City line, and we had no offset, fissure, cracks, or anything in our length of pipe from where that manhole that occurred to north out of the city. So, and we're gonna get, some of you know that I've been talking about using Murma's grant to buy our own sewer camera. They're a little pricey because we need one that will do 8-inch pipe and also has enough feet of line to be able to go, excuse me, from this manhole 125 to 126. You know, if we had a 100-foot one, you'd go in so far, you'd have to pull back out, go in this manhole, and you wouldn't even connect, so there would be no point. The one I'm looking at is like 10,000 for the camera, then they sell the monitors separate, so they can make more money. They're like 2,000 to 3,000. Murmur pays up to 7,500 towards it. So we're gonna try and get it in the budget for 26. What we do now is old school. If you call me and say, my house is backing up, I had a plumber out, he says he thinks it's the city line. That happens all the time because the guy doesn't have a long enough snake to clear it. And he's getting ready to give the person $100-something bill, and he feels bad, maybe. So he says, oh, it's probably on the city, you should get with them, and, you know, but here's my bill. We go out now and we open the upstream to the downstream manhole and we look for flow. And if it's flowing, it's pretty strongly, you can presume that it's not us. Plus, we would also have more than one call if that was the case. From other homes. Anyway, that's all I got. Oh, and then the project, asphalt. They completely milled the parking lot today. They started at where the concrete ends on South Church, South Sophie, whichever you call it, and went past Royal and down Middle to the dog leg. That's the toughest 2 areas that need to be done. Tomorrow they'll run straight from the dog leg to Pleasant Valley Road on South Brookside, mill it, and they'll mill River Cypress. That'll go real fast. Wednesday they'll pave this parking lot. They asked for no cars to be in the parking lot, which we kind of discussed. And then they'll go to paving roads Thursday, strike Friday, and be out of here. I'd like to thank all the employees that work in this building for helping jockey cars around today to get that headache part of it done. They did end up, 9 guys and me and John ended up pulling the carport and putting it over in the grass for a better job. So I was happy we got that.
I'll talk with the drywall company tomorrow and see if we all can park over there. They were very nice today to let me park there, so I'll check with them and let Chris know.
Cool. Very good.
Personnel committee.
All right, hopefully everyone received the personnel committee report with Matthew being out. Perfect, I think it maybe got printed and given to some people. I know that I emailed it to everyone who I had emails for. I know some people don't have the city email, so I tried to send that to the personal emails. I think I tried to send it to your personal email, but either way, I tried to get it to everybody as quickly as I could. But first, I'm also going to mention that I tried as hard as I could to get all that data for the public works position, and I was not able to get it done in time. a big problem was the fact that it was over the weekend, because I had the weddings on Friday and Saturday, so I had to try and do as much work as I could on Sunday, and everything's closed. So I wasn't able to contact, I wanted to try and contact some other cities to get some, clear data points and everything compared to previous ones that we've done in the city, and I was not able to get it done in time. So my recommendation is that we look at all of it at the upcoming personnel meeting and then at that following board meeting, because the original motion that we had made to look at the incentive pay wouldn't be coming until that next meeting anyway. So I think it makes sense to just look at all of it at that next meeting, and that gives me now, week, 2 weeks to actually compile all the data, which I've gotten mostly done, so it'll definitely be done in time for the next meeting. So I'm sorry, Chris, I was working at the speed of government, so. On the personnel committee report, you guys had the consent agenda, so that was nothing major there. And then the personnel committee has a recommendation for the board to update the policy on personal days. Right now, personal days can be taken only until November 30th instead of the end of the year. So people cannot take personal days in the month of December. It was something to do with the accounting side before. It was an issue with that, but we talked to Lisa. Lisa said that it's not a problem for her to do it, and a lot of people want to take personal days over the holidays. So we're just recommending that we just extend it so that personal days can go through the entire year instead of 11 and 12 months of the year.
Is that a motion?
So I'll make a motion that we update the policy on personal days so that they can be taken through 12/31 instead of 11/30. And then that be updated in the personnel manual as well.
Effective immediately.
Immediately.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Yes.
Did Lisa catch up on that discussion, Matthew, after the personnel committee meeting?
We had it prior.
Prior, okay.
She made the same point to me that there was no issue on her end, and she'd be the one that was responsible for paying those days out, so.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Clerk, call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Callaghan,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. All right, and then a second recommendation coming through the personnel committee. Chief Knudsen had sent us an updated pay grades for the 3 lowest paid positions in the department. There's some, I provided that chart that he sent us with the previous pay scales and then with the updated ones, or not previous, the current ones, and then with the updated ones. So this is to help make sure that it's competitive. We're having a hard time filling some of those base positions, and those pays are pretty irrelevant in today's day and age. Something like $15 an hour is almost non-existent anymore in anywhere in the workforce. So that's the recommendation that the chief brought to the personnel committee, and after discussion, that's the recommendation we're bringing to the board. So
I just want to confirm, so on firefighter medic, for the proposed pay grade,
yes,
there will no longer be a step 1 or step 2?
yes.
Okay.
And I discussed that with him. He wasn't able to be at the personnel meeting or this meeting, so I made sure to have a phone call with him. And he said that there's no pay grade between 115 and 125. So he feels that right now the best way to, have those pays line up would be to just have the firefighter medic skip to pay grade or skip to step 3 in pay grade 115. Why we don't have a pay grade in between those, I'm not exactly sure, but that's just the way that our pay grades are set up. So the hope is that eventually we can do a broad overview and update all of these salaries, and then that can get changed. But it's more of a, in the meantime, this will help make sure that they can get hiring done. So yeah, that was a long way to answer your question, but yes.
Okay, so if I heard correctly, because there's no grades per se, and it's not competitive for pay grades step 1 and 2, that it was in the best interest of Pleasant Valley community that we start at step 3.
Yeah, for that specific position.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that way there's still a bump between the single role medic and the fire, and then the firefighter medic, but without, then shifting the firefighter medic to the same one as fire captain, then you have to bring all of them up, so
So how many medics would that be a nuisance question? If we have 3 unfulfilled medics, or maybe the assistant chief, how many medics do we currently have?
I should have counted. Not counting the officers, probably 6 to 7
And are they all part-time or full-time?
part-time.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So actually, they'll get paid the same as the single road medic, according to this.
They'll be in the same pay grade, but they'll start at step 3 instead of step 1. So everyone who's currently in that position will get bumped up 2 steps. So they still will get
But
paid
they'll still
more.
get the rest of the time the same amount in the year, same years as the other people on the other one.
So a step 1 firefighter medic would make the same pay as a step 3 single role medic.
Right.
Yeah.
But the step 3, okay, so you're gonna move this one down to where the one
To
should
1.
have been?
Yeah.
The 3?
Yeah.
Down.
Well, they wouldn't necessarily get shifted because it would still stop at step 8 right now. So they'll hit the cap sooner. But again, the hope is that this is a more temporary fix.
What's the obvious? The same.
Right. Yeah, so they're just gonna eliminate, so if they hire a new one, he's gonna start here.
So,
where-
and then at 2 years, they would be at step 4. At 3 years, they'd be at step 5. Or at 4 years, they'd be at step.
Some of these others are all the same.
So I have another question for the assistant chief. How often are the 6 to 8 firefighter medics on call, and how long are their, hourly times that they work for?
We strive for paramedic coverage 24/7. And when I said we only have 6 or 7, that doesn't count my captains and myself, Chief Winfrey, who are also paramedics, and we do fill shifts. So, we either work they're either scheduled a 12 or 24-hour shift. And it kind of depends on their full-time, their home life, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Is that a motion?
Can I make a motion?
No.
Okay,
You
so
wanna
We're
make a
waiting for
motion?
one.
all right, gotcha. Well, we want to make sure I don't want to interrupt people. So, I'll make a motion that we adopt the updated pay grade for the 3 lowest pay grades in the fire department.
And is this starting in 2026 or is it as of now?
This
It-
was,
It should be brought as okay, so if we're updating a bunch of items on the employee compensation step plan, let's do them all at once. So this is just like a motion to have the updated step plan include these 3 changes in it when it's brought forward for the consideration of the full board at the next full board meeting.
Okay, I'll second that. But I also think that while we're doing that, can't we make that line pay grade 120 instead of 115?
that was a question that I had, was if we can create another pay grade. I brought that up to the chief and he was like, that's something we could possibly do, but this was kind of in a matter of, let's just get this done now. Because I'm not sure the exact process of creating another pay grade. I don't know if we need to do any, I don't know how that works.
It's just odd that the titles are different, but the pay grade number is the same.
Yeah.
Being the title's different, I would think we can change the pay grade number.
The description that was relayed to me about why we can't do that is it's not it's how they interact with one another. So and it's also the reason why step 1 and 2 is blacked out. If we were to slide that down into step 3 into step 1 and create a 120 essentially, what that does at the step 8, if you were to extrapolate out the additional 2 steps on that line,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
would be higher than the starting pay of the next position. And when somebody works as a firefighter medic and they get promoted to fire captain medic, You do not want that to come with a pay drop.
Well, also in code, if you change your 120, it changes everyone's 120.
Well, my understanding is that we don't have a 120.
Right, I'm just saying in
Yeah.
general, if it's there,
Exactly.
everyone's change.
Yeah, and that was part of the thing that he had. It's not like it's just, oh, let me update this for the fire department. It's like, these are just the pay grades that exist across the entire city. So, I mean, and this flows somewhat into the next point that I have on my report, which is that we would like to do another salary review for the entire city. So in my mind, I think this makes sense to just do it as is the way that the chief recommended. And then when we do the full salary schedule, if the board decides to do that, then we can help iron out some of these problems and making sure everything's adjusted and compensated for the changes that have happened since COVID.
Okay. So we've got a first and a second.
Yeah, I'll second that if I hadn't already.
Okay. Clerk call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Callaghan,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the last one, I'm sorry. So the last one is the Personnel Committee is recommending that the board consider a top-down review of salary schedules. The last one we did was in 2019, and that was obviously before COVID. That's part of why we've seen, the reason this was brought up is actually because Debbie made the comment that we've been getting lots of requests and things from department heads saying, hey, we need to update this salary, we need to update this individual. And so we think it makes sense that in a post-COVID world, it's now been, how many years is that? 6 years since the last one was done, that we should probably do another overview, and that would include an update to the job descriptions like it did last time. So our recommendation would be to have that put onto the budget for 2026. The review would be done then in 2026. From what Pat was saying, I think I don't know if you had the exact numbers, but from what you recalled, it was like 6 to 9 months or something like that it took last time. So it would take the majority of next year to do it, but I think it makes sense to get it put into the budget for 2026.
And that's a third-party vendor does that.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know, I think we're gonna have basically admin and financial get quotes from different people, see if we want to use the same people as last time, see if we want to use a different vendor, and then bring that before the board as to which direction we would like to move forward. So this would just be to get that salary line item in there, and then the board will then make further motions on how to proceed with the.
Do we need a motion to move forward with?
I don't know, do we, it's
You're
added
gonna
to the
spend
budget.
money.
Well, yeah, I'll make a motion that we start the process to get the salary
Survey.
schedules
Mhm.
looked at and reset.
I'll second, and if I can kick off discussion, just to
Go ahead.
tag on to that point. So the motion that we're talking about is to motion to admin to include this as an item and an action for us to complete together. This is the board's way to discuss, do we want this to happen? And if it's the will of the board that yes, then he'll go update, we'll start looking for vendors, we'll update the budget, all that good stuff. If it's something that the board doesn't want to do, then he's not gonna waste time getting all of that groundwork prepared for us to do it. So this is just him getting a gut reaction of, yes, can we include this in the budget so that we can start working on it in 26?
Okay. Clerk call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Callaghan,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Good idea for bringing that forward, Debbie. Okay. Anything else on the personnel?
No.
Okay. Finance? Patrick?
Good evening, guys. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we need to discuss and that we need to decide on, and I've got some information. So as far as where we're at in the flow of time, the budget is largely ready. There's a couple of changes that have been made in the last handful of working days that is kind of causing us to adjust what that budget is. So we were hoping to have one on your desk today. It is not ready today, but we anticipate it to be complete in the next day or two. So once it is complete, you will get a board packet with the budget that has all of the stuff that we talk about tonight and some of the changes from PD, being the additional 4 staffing levels and salaries, expectations, stuff like that, that had to be made last minute to the budget. So it's not on your desk today. It will be in your doorway in the next couple of days. And then once it's delivered, that is your opportunity to look through it, to poke at it, find line items that you're like, what does this mean? Where does it go? What's it used for? Hey, why did we arrive on this number? Stuff like that. Our anticipation is to approve the budget at the next meeting in November. So just 2 weeks away. If it doesn't happen that way, that's fine. We still have 2 more meetings in the year in order to pass it. Okay, so that's the information. Does anyone have any questions on the information? Cool. There are a couple of changes that we are talking about specifically on salary that will allow Clerk Chapman to create and finalize the line items for salary expenses. One of them we talked about already, the fire pay for entry-level positions within the department. Another one is healthcare percentage. So on your desk, did everybody get one of these? No, sorry. I will pass it around. It's important. So remember back mid-year, we talked about adjusting the employer contributions for city-sponsored healthcare, the healthcare plans. We moved from a flat percentage of the covered plans to a much higher percentage for the high deductible. It's an HDLP plan. I don't remember what it stands for. High deductible, low premium plan with an HSA option attached to it, and then use that as a flat expense on the high premium ones. So and then we talked about how do we get to what our end state is, or what's the next building block, what's the next step. So we did intermediaries. We started at what, 65, 50 or something like that. And then we went to 75, 65.
We were at 65, 90, 65.
Our last, the one the one we're on right now is 90, 65. So we were talking about increasing those percentages to 100% for individual. So if you're an individual on a high deductible, low premium plan, you will have 100% coverage of your health insurance. And I think most municipalities are in that direction. And it's a good benefit to offer to our employees at a fairly reasonable cost. We have the cost numbers of what the impact of the increases were. So throughout, from January to June, we were averaging $10,000 in employer expenses on healthcare. In July, our costs dropped to $7,800. So we with an increased percentage in the high deductible plans, we dropped costs by about $3,000, and that wasn't quite expected. I was not expecting that. I was expecting our expenses to be higher based off of that, and they were not. And then October, November, kind of the same, 6,000, 8,000. So what we need to decide is, do we want to include the increase in healthcare percentages to 100%, 85% in the next budget year?
Yes.
I think it's a good idea. Our budget supports it. Our expenses are good. And it's a great way to bring and retain. And with education and HSA contributions are another one of the levers that we can pull. I think it's what, $50 a month? Or $50 per paycheck? Which one is that?
I'm sorry, it's $50 a check.
$50 per paycheck. There's other levers we can pull, but the motion right now, I'll go ahead and make it. The motion is for us to model the budget with a 100-85 split, 100% on individual, 85% on family. And the estimated monthly cost of that is $15,000. Yes.
I guess I'll second that, and then I have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
discussion.
So with us doing the 100% coverage, do the premiums stay as one static number? Do they change? And then would we be covering the flat amount? We're just saying 100%, so let's say it's whatever, $200 a month or $300 a month. Does it just stay that amount? And then if the premiums change,
Mhm.
do we stay at that 100%
Yes.
coverage? Or do we just stay at that flat number coverage?
Per percentage. And
Okay.
those numbers change during open enrollment. So,
Yeah.
so open enrollment is the time that we get updated bids, new numbers, new premiums. It would be that 100%.
And when's your open enrollment?
The open enrollment is typically late October, early November for a plan year that starts July 1.
Okay.
And then follow-up question based on that. So with us doing the 100% on this plan, how does that translate to the coverage for the high premium plan, low deductible plan? So
It increases contributions there.
So what, is it done by a percentage then on that one, or is
It
that
is
one
done
done
by
by a
flat
number
amount.
amount? So like if, now that we're covering 100%, if that went from $250 a month, now it's $300 a month, that's,
Yes.
I want to be $300 a month, and then anytime the premiums change on the low premium plan, it would just reflect on the high premium plan.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying yes. Is that your understanding of it too, Matthew?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to follow. Do you mind asking a question?
Yeah,
again?
so because it's weird because it's a percentage based for one plan, but then it's a flat amount for the other plan. So my question was basically.
85%.
They're both percentages.
Okay.
Just the one percentage is 100%. So you're
And then there's
paying the full.
85%.
So 85% is for the family.
Yes.
I'm talking about not the family plan, I'm talking about the people who aren't on this plan, the people who are on the high premium plan.
Because, well, we had,
They're getting 100% of the high deductible 2,500 plan.
Okay, so then,
So
yeah,
everybody, so you're right.
Okay.
It's 100% of this plan, but it is a flat amount based on that 100%.
okay, and then that was my question is, so then if the premium changes for our low premium plan, then that flat number just changes for the high premium plan as well.
Yeah, but the premium would only change at the new plan year.
Yeah,
So the plan year that just started July 1st, that premium is in effect until June 30th of 2026.
okay. I think that makes sense. Okay.
And we do want to constantly monitor what the impact is to individuals paying into it. So
So I guess I do have another follow-up question. So obviously, my biggest concern that I voiced is that how this impacted the people on the high premium plan. So obviously, with us moving to 100% for the low premium plan, that does save money for people on the high premium plan. Do we know what that difference now looks like for people on the high premium plan? Is this getting them closer to where they were before the change, or does it end up not being that much of a difference? Do we know that?
I believe it moves the needle towards it. I don't know that it will be equal to what they were at before.
Okay. And then as a follow-up to that,
I
do we
think in
need
some
to?
cases, there were quite a bit larger employee expenses
Yeah.
on those high premium.
Yeah, significantly, yeah. So do we need to look at any adjustments to the high premium plan? Or, because 100% is gonna be that maximum amount. So this would basically be locking in the amount of coverage that we have for the high premium plan. And maybe we feel that it's a manageable amount now, that it's more fair across the board, but I don't know if that's something that we need to review and make sure that the high premium plan is
Can I?
fair.
Okay, so I'm trying to follow along, but what I would propose is maybe do another survey to see how people felt about it, and then look at the amount that people paid in and get like a small summary of that. So to evaluate, that's just a suggestion. But from my understanding, there's always a percentage for each individual health plan as well as a family plan. So it will go incrementally if the insurance company decides to increase the price. That's what I understand, because it varies from year to year for different expenses. I'm just trying to understand where you're going. I kind of had like Matthew trying to understand, but maybe some simple solutions, a summary, another survey. So to get at the questions she's trying to get the answers for, just a
I
suggestion.
mean, I can tell you that I know for a fact that anyone who is on that high premium plan is got very poor, it was a very bad impact on them when we updated the health insurance coverage. It helped the vast majority of the employees, because the vast majority of our employees are on the low premium plan. But I think, like Chris is one of the few people who mentioned it, you're one of the few people who are on it. But I mean, your premium is what, doubled? The amount that you were paying per month? So I mean, no one's gonna be happy about that. No one's gonna say, yeah, I love that my premium's doubled. Everyone but there were some people who switched off of the high premium plan to the low premium plan because of that.
Some people who just can't.
And some people can't, because that's, that doesn't make sense for them.
I don't think you're gonna get any kickback for paying more money towards a
100%.
insurance plan.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Paying more is always gonna be better.
This
Yes.
change will positively impact every employee.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess my only point by all of this is, I don't know if we need to look at the high premium plan separately in the future and see if it feels fair, if that is something that's fair for us to offer to our employees, or if we need to.
It's always good to reanalyze and see how things work.
But also the trend is to have high and low HSA expense accounts with insurance. That's the trend. I totally agree. But I also feel like we need to make some steps and make a baseline of what success looks like, so that we're meeting our employees' needs. That's why, and something sustainable that meets people are halfway, where they're not over. Those premiums can really kill you. There goes your budget. So I totally agree, but I think also we need to do a survey like we did the first time when we brought this to the board, and now see after almost a whole year of how people have felt about it and get their input too. Just an idea.
How many employees do we have on the low premium? Or
The high premium?
the high premium, the one that Chris is on? Do you know?
What is it, two people?
That's a HIPAA violation.
Let's choose
HIPAA
two
violation.
people or three people, other than
Yeah,
people's names.
I don't have that information in front of me. I mean, it is a fairly low number, but
I think there's three.
three, I think.
And not because there was a group of us talking, right? I just remember that there was, it was on something that was posted.
Yeah, I remember we had seen it at one of our discussions, and I know one employee specifically said that they were on the high premium plan and then switched to the low premium plan with the change because they couldn't afford to stay on the high premium plan.
And I feel like if I could just say something about my situation, and I know I'm not the only one that works here, or the only one you care about, but it was, I actually reached out to Bridget because I didn't know what I should do. It seemed in my mind that I should jump on the 2,500 because of the contributions from the city and all that. To me, it was a no-brainer, and I was like pen in hand, ready to say, or keyboard in hand, ready to send Matt, put me on the HSA. I said, well, let me call Bridget just in case. Well, one of the medicines I take I was paying, or I pay $84 a month for. And Bridget said that medicine would have gone to $1,200. And that was just that one, and then there was my blood sugar monitor deal. I pay like $64, and that would have went to $380 something. So she said, she said I wouldn't make that change. I would stay on the INO. So that's, and it's not like it's not anybody else's fault that I have to take those 2 minutes. That's just.
And that's what, I just want to make sure that we're not just looking at the one plan, that as we make this change, that if we need to make an adjustment to that high premium plan, that we consider, I don't know if it means looking at that one as a percentage point versus a flat dollar amount, like if it's cut, if we do 80% on that plan, 100% on the low premium, something like that. It's just something that we may want to look at in the future. So that was the only reason I was asking those questions, is to kind of confirm the way that the coverage is being done between the two plans, so that we can just be aware and look at both and make sure that we're offering fair plans to all of our employees, regardless of which plan they decide to be on.
I also think if we're going to go this route, and if people choose to go into higher premium, that we might have to pad their like incentive to be a part of it so they can meet their goals. Just an idea.
I think you gotta be careful giving any employee a better benefit than another. So if you're gonna pay 100% of this one at this dollar amount, you can't pay this person's double amount.
So then we need to work on a solution. So if we're going to provide a high premium like so, then we need to either have a workabout or have a medium option for those who want the best of both worlds but can't afford the high premium, but don't want to be on a low premium as well. Just an idea.
Yeah. I think it's just something we just want to make, I just want to make sure that we look at it and revisit it and just check and see what those, even if we just compare the percentages. So if we're covering 100% of the low premium, does that correlate to 50% of the high premium? We, just figure out those numbers and then the exact amount that it covered, and yeah, just do an overview.
Okay. Are we going to do a vote at this point, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just make sure the motion is there.
I seconded it.
You seconded it. We're talking about updating the budget numbers to be 185% of the high deductible plan.
Clerk call the roll.
Gallagher.
Yes.
Callaghan.
Yes.
Jacoby.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Showers.
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, we're still in the middle of finance. That was a long discussion, but I definitely appreciate having open dialogue with everybody. So thank you for that. But there is one other thing we needed to do for Matthew to be able to get the budget out, and that is the topic of cost of living adjustments. So every year inflation is rampant. Our inflation rate this year is a lot lower than it was in years past. But sometimes our step plan has not been adjusted to accommodate for the fact that the dollar today is less powerful than the dollar of a year ago. So it's important for us to keep pace with inflation as best as we can, while also not putting too much of a strain on the budget. So in the packet that you will get, there is a discussion. It's in memo format. So if you're from the 80s and you've seen memos before, that's what it's a memo that describes the recommended COLA calculation methodology. Essentially, what it means is we're going to look at the cost of living for the region that Missouri is in, so not national CPI, but localized Midwest CPI that includes the West Central Midwest region. It's about 5 states here in the middle of the U.S. So that inflation at the edges of the country aren't overly impacting our locality where we purchase our stuff. And where it is smooth. So what that means is it takes an aggregate average from year over year, what that rate is over time, and applies it to our current year. So I've calculated it for the last, since 2019. The current calculation is 2.6%. And so my recommendation is to include a cost of living adjustment for all pay grades of 2.6% in the budget. And so that's my motion. It's essentially the same thing we did before, where we are directing Matthew to include that percentage in the budget numbers. And when we go to review the salary step plan, when we approve the budget, it will include those COLA numbers.
So,
That,
I
for
will-
simplicity's sake, that's my motion.
I will second.
Okay, discussion,
yeah,
questions?
I wanted to just make sure, because I just looked online on the Social Security cost of living COLA. They're saying it's going to be it's actually 2.8,
Mhm.
but you're saying for where we live, it's 2.6?
Correct.
Okay.
And then I have a quick question. How does that number compare to what we've done in previous years for COLAs?
Previous years has been hit and miss.
Uh-huh.
There has been no standardized process by which we've incremented and implemented COLAs. From my experience, I've been on the board for only 3 years. The city has been around much longer than my little 3-year tenure. But from my history and what's been told of me in the past, boards absolutely have the right to not implement a COLA. And so some boards have decided not to allow for COLA. Others have said, whoa, the COLA, as we calculated it at the national or the regional or based off of a whimsical percentage in somebody's head, it's got to be 10%. So let's try doing half now and half the next year. It's really been hit and miss, or rounded in different ways. Yeah.
And probably partially depends on our financial.
Exactly.
Got money we have to
Yes.
check giving people.
Yeah, it's not just what's happening outside, it's what's our revenue doing, what's our expenses doing, and does our budget support it? So from my vantage point, looking at all of our investment income, our projected revenues for this year, I think our budget totally supports a 2.6% COLA increase. And then when you look at the methodology in the memo, there's a formula in there. My goal and my intention is to make this a very regular, repeatable, discussable item every year, and give us the opportunity to consistently calculate what that is and how it impacts us, and then talk about it in the face of what our actual income expense stuff is doing, which I've tried to give you in the form of charts. You have charts that visualize what our income's doing, what our expenses doing. That's the gut reaction of how our finances are. And so that's the basis that I form my recommendation.
Can I ask, what would happen if we increased it to 2.8, just in case, there's some changes? I don't know. What are your rationales about a 2.8% increase versus 2.7%? Could you?
So locality is a way that we remove irrelevant data. It's a way to get to what the inflation is doing in our region. And it's not consistent that the CPI is lower in the Midwest. Looking through the percentages that's been calculated for our region for the last 7 years, I found a couple of instances where our CPI is higher than the national average. It is a real world, real impact determination by an independent federal board that says this is what inflation is doing in this region.
So my question is,
Yeah.
our current COLA is at what exactly?
A COLA
We don't have
isn't, so
one.
a COLA is a point-in-time adjustment. So when you see the employee step plan, when we say that we apply a COLA, what we do is we take every number in the step 1 percentage, in the step 1 column, multiply it by 1 point, and then whatever our percentage is, 1.026, and that will give us what the new step 1 is. So it's not a second tack on pay. It changes your base pay for all positions.
I understand that.
Okay.
But I'm curious, do we have enough in our budget for a 2.8% just to give incentives, since we are competing against Liberty as well as Kansas City metro area? I'm just wondering. Hi, Linda? Huh? What's up?
A lot of them do round it.
Oh, okay. So we don't have a COLA then? We're proposing one, because she just said that we don't have one. I'm just seeking clarity.
You don't have.
Let me try to answer that a little bit. because you can't really say we have a COLA right now. It would be last year, we implemented a COLA, the year before that, we implemented COLA, and that percentage is always different.
We didn't.
Yeah, the last year I was here, I think we did one, the year before that, I think we didn't. So it's not like we currently have a COLA or we don't. It's just a point in time, and usually it's done, and my experience on the board is it's been done around the budget. When we decide we're updating the budget, we either implement a COLA or we don't.
So my question is, the last COLA, what was the percentage? That's the question I'm really getting at.
That would be in 2024.
Okay, and then what was the percentage? Do you have that, or could that be shared later on? Because I'm trying to understand if that was the base of 2024, let's say 2.5, and we're gonna do a 2.6. I just want to make sure, is there an increased difference, or is it just like $5? That's what I'm looking at. And if there's some way to get a number, a baseline for that, I think this would help the conversation.
Depended what the COLA is nationally or whatever each year. It's not it's gonna be 5%. It may have been 1% last year, and the year before it might have been 3%.
I respect that, like you just said,
Sorry,
it varies. Go ahead.
Matthew, when he creates, when we work out what the step plan will be, Matthew can create a cost calculation of what that 2.6 means for the city. If we take our expenses this year, our salary expenses, and apply 2.6 across the board, what's the cost difference between 0 and implementing 2.6? That as a single number, Matthew, you do regularly project what that cost would be and include it with the budget, right? So you will see what a 2.6% COLA will cost the city as a line item across the board, all employees. And it's what, typically 20 to 25,000?
That sounds about right.
And annually?
That's a little low.
A little bit, 35?
For the 2.6.
Yeah, 2.6, or what it's historically been in the past. Like, it's generally, it fluctuates with the percentage, but it's generally, we're talking at that higher tier rate, 20, 25, 30, 35,000, depending on what that percentage is.
So my request, Clerk Chapman, if there's some way that you could put together a brief summary of like the past years that were identified for COLA, and so that we can look at the trend, that would help me understand where we're going and the rationale for a 2.6% COLA increase.
Well, the other part of that is you have to know the source for that.
Okay.
So the source in past years is probably going to be different than it is what is being proposed this year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chris got a question.
I just know, I'll get that. The COLA is the COLA separate from like the performance?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a
So it's
cost
in
of
addition
living.
to, so the COLA would kick in
Immediately,
January 1,
January 1, yep.
not when your anniversary.
Yes.
Correct.
And that, so if we're at 2% in 2026 for merit, then you plus 2.6. Okay.
And it goes completely across the board regardless of performance to every single employee. It's just to make sure that our pay is competing with inflation.
Asterisk, except for volunteers at the fire department.
Okay,
Their pay will always be $10 and $15 per call,
okay.
except for unpaid volunteers.
So in my email, the last one I can find, which doesn't mean it's not in a separate folder, was 22. We have an 8% COLA. It shows a copy of the new step plan with 8%. So I don't know if it was passed or if that's just what was discussed.
I think, well, let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. I think that was after years of
Not happy.
Yes.
zero, and that was also during the time when it was the R&L situation lawsuit, you know. But,
What was that date, Sarah?
2022,
2022. But correct me if I'm wrong, this is part of the history that I heard, was they saw 8 whatever percent, and they're like, whoa, that's a big number. Let's do half now and half next year.
There was something,
Sounds right.
there was something weird. I remember that we were trying to fix and trying to figure out the way that it worked.
It should be in the budget.
I think they did 4% that year and then 4% the next year.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, moving forward, I guess for clarity and hopefully we don't have like a spike of 8% outlier, that we can be consistent with our COLA moving forward.
That's where it would be nice to be with something that's tangible, if this 5-state area does 2.6, we do
Yes.
2.6
Yes,
instead of
exactly.
picking some random other number.
Which reflects what Pat said, his.
I've got a repeatable process here, and that's been consistently applied in the past. Like, I've calculated it in the past. So my goal is for us to adopt a standardized procedure.
I agree with that.
Okay, so the motion on the floor
Yeah, please.
is that the
And
budget
seconded.
include a 2.6% COLA. And it was seconded, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Clerk call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Callaghan,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes.
Freeman.
Yep.
Olson.
Yes.
Anything else?
2 more things.
Oh my God. No more questions.
I know.
Everyone just has to accept it.
Okay. It was brought to my attention that there was not a COLA for 2025. And when we were talking about that conundrum with the mayor was like, what can we do about it? And she proposed a calculation of what COLA would have been for the entirety of the year for all eligible employees as a one-time payment. So there's a lot to unpack there, and there's more discussion to be had. This is informational. We will talk about that at the Finance Committee meeting, where we will have recommendations from MML, where we will have additional background information to be able to make an informed decision. So I don't even have the information in front of me right now to talk about it. So, but that's the idea. That's what we'll talk about at the Finance Committee meeting. That, excuse me, that will be at a time and date that we schedule forthright. So,
You said you do know you're supposed to send out the packets and then we decide when.
no. We will go ahead and schedule a Finance Committee meeting
Oh, okay. Well,
right now, but you will get an updated budget. I talked for a while.
One more.
You said this last time.
I know. It's a weird physical ailment, I guess. So let's go ahead and schedule that. Our next board meeting is the 17th. So I'd like to get this done before the 17th, but give us enough time for Matthew and Reen and I to kind of sit down and get a proposal together. So how does...
Yeah.
How does Tuesday, the 11th look?
Veterans Day,
Veterans Day?
we're open.
Oh, it's Veterans Day. Oh, ugh. I don't want to do it on Veterans Day. How about Wednesday, the 12th?
Available. What time?
Fine with me.
What time are we looking at?
What time? It
I
depends
have-
on the time. I have a doctor's appointment that day.
How about 3 o'clock?
That works
Yeah,
for me.
fine with me.
I think I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Could you do earlier or later?
I could do probably right afternoon sometime.
I can do
I
that
should
as
be
well.
able to be at my doctor's
I
office
could do
later.
I could do
Depends on how long we take
right
up here.
So 1 o'clock?
One or noon.
Let's do noon, just in case.
Oh, I
it's
don't
like
care.
2 to 3
I can't be
hours.
there at noon. I can be there 12:15 or 12:30. For one,
Or can we zoom
That's
or
fine.
call in?
We will absolutely record it.
Yes, you can.
12:30 or so?
Yeah.
12:30?
Just let me know.
12:30,
12:30?
That's fine.
12:30. Going once, twice, sold.
Wednesday.
Wednesday the 12th, 12:30.
Yeah, I'll try. I can't, that's a little early for me. I still work.
Unfortunately, I see.
So doing
Yeah.
12:30, that's gonna be kind of tough.
So I guess my
As
question
long as you
is,
have a quorum, you're
You
okay.
want me to show you how to Zoom
yeah,
or
just
Teams?
send me a
You want
link.
me to? you want me to-
We can set up an interactive one, or we can do the call-in, like there's a couple of different options.
In
I
the,
like Zoom
in the
call
past,
in.
I did a call-in. I will warn you, it is very hard to hear everybody. I had a very hard time hearing everyone, but I have done it. But I'll just warn you ahead of time that it was
Yeah.
not great.
It is my position, but I know that I am one person in a 8-member board and can be overridden. I would like to see department heads at committee meetings. But that's not my call to make.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay, so then I guess my question is, Alderman Showers. So I know we've agreed at 12:30, but if there's another time, like around 3, because
The later the better. I mean, let's see, what day is that on?
Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that Wednesday's a busy day for me. The later is better for me, but it don't matter for me. I'm just one person. You guys can carry on without me.
unless you call in or something, or Zoom.
No, I won't be
No.
calling in. I work.
You want one of my guys to go and pull the fire alarm?
There won't be no calling in, no, that's Wednesday's a busy day for me.
I mean,
But like I
I'm
said, you
open.
don't need me, you got everybody else, you don't need me.
I'm open anytime in the afternoon. I said at 12:30,
But
like, you can.
That's
move
just-
it to
change
3.
it, I mean, because I forgot I had some other thing at that same day.
As
Okay,
long as I can
How
call
many,
in after
raise
3,
your
I'm
hands, how
fine.
many can come at 12:30, how many can come at 3? See what our numbers
Yeah,
are.
12. The 12:30 crowd,
I'm not gonna be able to
we
make.
got 4. Okay, how about the 3 o'clock crowd? No, that's a much larger percentage. Let's do 3.
Okay.
I like that method. Let's use the hand raising method more
I like
often.
it, yeah.
Man.
It's better.
I just requested either a Zoom or a phone
Just a
call.
couple more months and I won't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm
Okay.
counting.
Okay.
And he can make sure to get that arranged.
Okay, before we do an
Sign still
adjournment,
For reals.
are you through, Patrick?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, before we do an adjournment, I want to introduce you to Julia Mast. Julia, please stand up. Please say hello to Julia when you
Hi, Julia.
leave and introduce yourselves, okay? Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Julia.
All right, now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, clerk call the roll.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Talia,
Yes.
Govey,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers,
Yes.
Freeman. Yes. Olson.
Yes.
You did this first.